My parents tried to cut me out of the will. They want to disown me because of the person that I love. And you know what? I'm not going to let them interfere in my love life. I love who I love, and that's the end of the story. However, it's not the end of the story, and I'm going to walk you guys exactly through this insane inheritance drama. I'm 35, female. I've endured years of emotional abuse from my wealthy, narcissistic parents. Nothing I ever did was ever good enough for them. They constantly criticized and belittled me while favoriting my younger brother, Adam, who's 4 years younger than me. The final straw came 5 years ago when I got engaged to my girlfriend, Emily. My conservative parents disowned me for being gay and cut me out of their will. Meanwhile, they continued to shower Adam with money and attention, funding his lavish wedding and buying him a house even. But oh boy, how the tables have turned. Adam, who works at my parents' company, was caught embezzling over $2 million to fuel his gambling addiction. My parents covered it to avoid scandals, of course, but their fortune took a massive hit. Last month, my father died. Heart attack. In a stunning twist of fate, I'd say. He never updated his will after disowning me. Go figure. Due to the will structure, I'm now entitled to 70% of the estate, with my mother getting 20% and Adam, the youngest, getting 10%. Even after Adam's theft, the estate is still worth a lot. I mean, in total, we're talking like 15 milli. My mom is livid but powerless to change the distribution. She's been harassing me nonstop, alternating between groveling pleas and vicious insults. After the hell they put me through, I feel no remorse taking what's rightfully mine. I've scheduled a meeting with an estate lawyer just to begin the process of claiming my inheritance. I can't wait to secure my family's future and cut ties with my toxic relatives for good. But that's not all. I've also been plotting my revenge, you see. My parents have always been obsessed with their reputation and their wealthy social circles. They'll do anything to maintain the illusion of the perfect family. So here's my plan. Once the inheritance is settled, I'm going to make a series of large, public donations to charities in my parents' names. I want everyone in their upper crust world to know that their shameful daughter's thriving and doing good with their money. I can just picture their mortification at having their bigotry exposed so publicly. I'm also considering throwing a lavish disinheritance party to celebrate my new wealth and freedom from my toxic family. I'm going to invite my friends, family members, and maybe even a few reporters, just to really drive home the story of how my parents' cruelty backfired spectacularly. Is it petty? Perhaps, but after a lifetime of being made to feel inferior, I'm ready to revel in this delicious retribution. The best revenge is living well, and I intend to live exceptionally well. Of course, I'll also be putting the bulk of the money towards securing a stable future for my own little family. Emily and I have dreams of buying a house, starting college funds for the kids, and taking a few incredible vacations. It thrills me to know I can give my children the loving, supportive upbringing I never had. I'll post an update after my meeting with the estate lawyer. I have a feeling this is just the beginning of a wild ride. Anyways, thank you for reading. Writing this all has been so cathartic. I welcome any advice or words of support as I navigate through this crazy situation. Update number 1. Hey guys, well, I'm about to be blown away by the response to my post. Thank you all for the outpouring support and encouragement. It means more than you ever knew. I met with the estate lawyer today, and she confirmed that I'm legally entitled to 70% of my parents' estate per the terms of the will. She anticipates that we can begin the probate process within the next few weeks. Now that 30 days have passed since my father's death, the lawyer estimates it'll take 3 to 6 months for me to receive the inheritance, depending on how smoothly the process goes. I'm trying to be patient, but it's a hard one not to start mentally spending all the money. On the family front, there have been some interesting developments. It seems my mother and Adam have realized that insults and guilt trips won't sway me, so they've switched to tactics of bribery. Adam calls me up, right, and offers a $3 million gift if I agree to walk away from my inheritance claim. He spun some sob story about needing the money to pay off a dangerous gambling debt. I promptly told him where to shove his manipulative offer. Not to be undone, my mom sent me an email saying she'd be graciously forgiving me for my sinful lifestyle and welcome me back into the family fold if I sign over my inheritance to Adam. Can you believe the audacity? I responded with a link to the youth shelter I plan to support with some of the money and wished her a nice life. Since then, I've blocked both their numbers and email addresses. I have no doubt that they'll keep trying to get their hooks into me, but I'm officially done engaging with their toxic nonsense. Anyways, in happier news, Emily and I have started dreaming up all the ways we'll use the money once I receive it. A new house, college funds for the kids, a trip to Europe. The possibilities are endless, and we also had fun brainstorming which charities to support in my parents' names. I'd say the disheartening party idea is also taking shape. I'm picturing a lavish Pride-themed celebration complete with, well, all sorts of queens, rainbows, decor, and a champagne toast to sweet revenge. I might even have a replica of my parents' prize Monet painting, just to really rub salt in the wounds. I know it sounds vindictive, but I can't help to relish the thought of publicly shaming my parents for their cruelty. And what better way to twist the knife than by using their precious money and reputation against them? Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. The next step is letting the legal process play out. I'll post another update when there's news to share. In the meantime, thanks again for all the love and validation. Anyways, spite has never felt this good. Update number 2. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hey, well, what a roller coaster this has been, so buckle up. Because I've got some really wild updates for you guys. After my last post, I had a few weeks of blissful silence from my mother and Adam. I naively hoped that meant that they'd given up their efforts to get their hands on my inheritance. Oh, how I was wrong. 3 nights ago, drunken Adam showed up at my doorstep at 2 a.m., pounding on the door and slurring his words demanding my money. He was ranting about owing big debts to scary gambling associates and insisting that I had to help him arouse. Utterly fed up, I called the police to have him removed. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Well, the next morning, I filed a restraining order straight up. With any luck, that'll keep him at bay at least for a while, but wait, there's more. The very next day, my estate attorney called with stunning news. In a last-ditch effort to block me from my inheritance, my mother is officially contesting the will. She's claiming my father was mentally unsound when he made it, since it still included me after being disowned. The unmitigated gall of this woman. My lawyer says it's an absurd claim with no legal weight. This will also properly be witnessed and executed, and there's zero evidence my father was of unsound mind. She's confident we can get the contest to be dismissed, but it means a frustrating delay in the probate. And that's not all. Through the family grapevine, I've learned the real reason Adam is desperate for money. Turns out it's not just my parents he stole from. He's also in hot water for embezzling from his shady gambling people. You would think that he would have learned his lesson the first time, but I guess the appeal of easy money is just too much for him. Part of me is tempted to let him lie in the bed that he's made, but as furious as I am, he's still my brother. I've decided to throw him a lifeline with someone serious with some strings attached. I'm willing to give Adam $1 million lump sum to pay off the debts and get the goons off his back. In exchange, he has to go to rehab, he has to get clean, and he has to cut all contact with his gambling buddies and enablers, including our mother. He also has to stop supporting Mom's ridiculous attempt to contest the will. I had my lawyer draft up an ironclad contract spelling out the terms, and Adam grumbled and tried to negotiate for more money. But in the end, he knew it was best offer that he would get, and he signed the papers this morning. So that's where this thing is standing. The will contest has thrown a wrench in my plans, but I'm trying to stay optimistic. And hey, at least I can comfort myself with fantasies of the disinheritance party to come. I'm thinking of hiring a videographer to capture the whole darn thing. Maybe I'll send my pictures to my parents. Maybe a highlight reel as a spiteful souvenir. I'll aim to post one more update when the inheritance is finally settled and in my hands. In the meantime, I can't thank you all enough for the continued support and commiseration. Us black sheep have to stick together. Here's hoping the next update will be nothing but good news. Wish me luck. Updates number 3. Well, folks, the day has finally come. After 10 long, grueling months, I can officially announce that the inheritance is mine, all mine. The path here was anything but smooth, as I mentioned in my last update. My mother's frivolous attempt to contest a will caused a major delay in the probate process, but in the end, justice was prevailed. See, last month, the court threw out her baseless challenge. The judge was utterly unimpressed with her flimsy argument that my father was mentally unfit when he made the will. In a delightfully karmic twist, the judge actually reprimanded her for wasting the court's time with such transparency, self-serving claims. My lawyer said it was one of the most satisfying courtroom smackdowns she's ever witnessed, and get this. With the contest dismissed, the estate's remaining assets were finally liquidated and dispersed but the terms of the will. And as of this morning, I have a whopping $10.5 million just chilling in my bank account. I keep pinching myself to make sure I'm not dreaming. Emily and I definitely indulged in some celebratory champagne. We gleefully cackled as we imagined the looks of my parents' faces when they saw their account balances. How's that for divine retribution, Mom? It's hard to wrap my mind around having this kind of wealth, especially after a lifetime of being made to feel lesser than by the family of mine. There were so many days growing up when their cruel jabs and cold indifferences had me convinced I was absolutely worthless. If only teenage me could see me now. Make no mistake, no amount of money can make up for the love and support I deserved from my parents, but you better believe I'm going to take great satisfaction in using their precious fortune to live my best life on my own terms. Emily and I have been busy making plans for how to allocate the money. Paying off mortgages and funding the kids' college accounts are obvious no-brainers. We've also been scrolling Zillow for a couple vacation homes. I'm thinking a cute bungalow on the coast is the perfect summer getaway. A big chunk of change will go into a savings and investments to ensure our family's long-term financial security plays on. As for the rest, well, true to my word, I've earmarked a hefty sum for charitable giving. I wasn't kidding about those spite donations. Just yesterday, I wired $500,000 to organizations. I made each contribution in my parents' name, along with a note explaining that the funds were, quote, lovingly donated by their daughter in honor of their unending bigotry. I hope they choke when they see the dedication in the monthly donor newsletter. As tempting as it was, I've ultimately decided against throwing an actual disinheriting party. With the pandemic still raging, a big in-person bash feels a bit irresponsible. Plus, I found I'm less motivated by revenge than I was just a few months ago. Don't get me wrong. Spite is still a dish I'll happily serve cold, but I'm realizing I don't need a big, showy, gestury feel of victoriousness. Instead, Emily and I are going to host a virtual Success is the Best Revenge toast with our closest friends and relatives this weekend. We'll share the good news about the inheritance toast, just to provide my parents wrong, and maybe engage in some cathartic mocking of my family's worst qualities, all from the comfort and safety of our own homes. As for my mom and my brother, I wish I could say there's been some heartwarming reconciliation, but that's just not the reality here. If anything, my mom has doubled down on the venom since the will was contested and it was failed. She sent some truly vile emails ranting about what an ungrateful, selfish, sinful disappointment I've become. Well, I've officially blocked her across every single platform. I just don't have the bandwidth for her bottomless cruelty anymore. Can you relate? Adam, to his credit, is at least attempting to make good on our deal. He went to rehab and has been sober for 6 months now. I'm genuinely proud of him for taking that step. but he's got a long ways to go in terms of accountability. He recently sent me a long-winded email rehashing our childhood and claiming that our parents' favoritism is the real root of his issues. The martyr tone was a lot to stomach, and I'm not holding my breath for an actual amend anytime soon. But hey, my therapist has been gently working with me to keep my expectations of Adam realistic. I hope that with time and distance from our toxic family, he can break the cycle of narcissistic fleas and learn to stand on his own 2 feet. But that's on him, not on me. For now, I'm choosing to focus my energy on the family I've created, not the one I came from. Wow, what a story. Let's check out these 2 comments, and hilariously enough, the first comment comes from someone named Dragon's Delight 89, and then the second comment is arguing with Dragon's Delight, and the funniest thing is their username is Dragon Slayer 2024. We got a lot of dragons in here today. Here's the first comment. It says, I get why you would want to secure your future and get back at your parents for their treatment, but isn't the whole disinheritance party a bit over the top? Publicly shaming them with a party and donations in their name just to expose them sounds like it could, I don't know, perpetuate the cycle of spite rather than closing this painful chapter of your life. Maybe consider using this new beginning to focus on positivity and, well, positively on your family's future and personal healing rather than getting revenge. Alright, well that's where the second comment comes back and says, wait a second. I see your point, Dragon's Delight. I think you're missing the big picture. After enduring a lifetime of emotional abuse and discrimination, sometimes the only way to feel semblance of justice is through bold actioning. Publicly donating in their names isn't just about revenge. It's about reclaiming power and rewriting the narrative that her parents tried to enforce on her life. It sends a strong message, not just to her parents, but to everybody. The hate and bigotry will not win. Celebrating her freedom and success is not petty. It's a statement of resilience and triumph. Let me know which comment you're rolling with. Drop it down below in our comment section, guys. I want to know your thoughts on the story and just what you're feeling. My name's Mr. Reddito. I narrate stories like this every single day. And if you guys want to be a part of these stories, all you have to do is subscribe. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. And of course, remember, it's cool to be kind. Peace.